My grandparents owned the lot next to their house. They just used it for more yard space. But when my sister and I were born, Grandpa knocked down the old shed on the empty lot and built a playground for us. Everything was made with his own two hands. It was a kid's dream, and we both played there any chance we got. After we grew up, they let the kids of the neighborhood use the place to play with no issues. But then, some years later, they passed, and the house went to my mom. I found out I was expecting, so my husband, Andre, and I started seriously looking for a house when we'd only been half trying before. Mom suggested we buy my grandparents' house since we know it's a good place, and us buying it would keep it in the family. In addition, it's still in good shape, has no HOA, and it's close to a good school, so we bought it for a steal and moved in ASAP. We noticed parents hanging out at the playground with their kids right away. We didn't mind at first and used the chance to introduce ourselves. Everyone was lovely and younger than I'd expected. A bunch of couples with kids had taken over the street in the past 5 or so years. The problem arose when neighbor Witch brought her kid over one afternoon. I happened to be by the window and saw a flash of red outside. It was a kid in a red shirt standing on the roof of one of our 2-story playhouses, almost 10 feet off the ground. I ran outside thinking he was alone and said he needed to get down right now. That's when the neighbors stormed over from who knows where and yelled at me to buzz off and not tell her kid stuff. I asked if she was his mom, and after getting a yes, I asked her to make her son get down before he got hurt. She argued, saying I couldn't make them do anything, so I told her this was my property and yes, I could. That's when the kid fell. Thankfully, once he was halfway down and only onto the grass, but he still wailed like he was dying. He was fine. He got up without issue and ran over to the neighbor lady. She picked him up and said she'd have sued me if he'd been hurt, so I threatened her with the cops if she didn't leave. She flipped me off and called me names but left. Andre was worried other people might try to sue us if their kids got hurt on our land. I hadn't even thought of that, so we put up a fence. Parents came by asking why the fence, so I told them why, and they could thank the neighbor lady. I heard she's been shunned by the other parents, and none of them will let their kids play with hers. I feel guilty her son is getting punished for her actions. Maybe just saying we wanted a fence up instead of telling him about the lady would have been kinder. Am I the idiot? In these days of having to pay ridiculous amounts for emergency medical care and of people suing whoever they can to try and pay for the ridiculously expensive emergency medical care, you'd have to be insane not to put up a fence and ban everyone. You needed to explain why you suddenly put a fence up, or you're the one that faced being shunned, and you didn't do anything wrong. Not the idiot, OP. You did what was necessary to protect your property from lawsuits, and you told the truth about why you put up the fence. It's a shame that our child is getting shunned, but it isn't the first time a kid has suffered for the actions of an idiotic parent, and it won't be the last. What your grandfather did was a beautiful gesture, years ago. Now it's your time to protect yourself from harm. If any child gets hurt on your property, the parents can sue the pants off of you. It's your property, and you're free to do as you wish. Still, OP, please be aware that a fence on its own may not be enough to protect you. A playground wonderland almost definitely qualifies as an attractive nuisance, which means you may still be responsible if kids break in or hop the fence to play on it and get injured. It would probably be a good idea to do a quick consult with a local lawyer and find out what you need to do to cover yourself adequately. Telling your neighbors that they can blame that lady for keeping their kids off your play equipment does move you into the idiot territory. It's an act of revenge, even if she deserved it. But do you think it might have been too much? You are the idiot here because you are inexperienced in neighborhood politics. You now have the perfect excuse for inviting a couple of moms and their kids over for supervised play, getting to know each other, and perhaps wine and cheese. I, 33 female, have been dating my girlfriend, 32, for 6 years now. She also has a son, teen Max, from a previous secondary school relationship. I have a great relationship with both. My girlfriend has 100% custody of Max, and his dad pays child support. I moved into my girlfriend's house 4 years ago, and I am responsible for housework. My girlfriend is the primary breadwinner, cooks dinner, etc., so we have an efficient house dynamic. Recently, she asked me if I could pick Max up from school in the afternoon. For reference, Max goes to a school at a special school across the city, meaning it would be a 20-minute drive there and back. She said that she would use the train to get to work, and I could drive the car. I refused because I typically finish my housework at midday, have lunch, and then the rest of the day is spent doing my hobbies, knitting and gardening. She insisted I pick him up from school because she had work and she wouldn't make it. However, I stood firm. She has since told me that she might have to charge me rent because I don't do adequate housework. First and foremost, I spend my whole morning cleaning the house. She works, does the food shopping, cooks dinner, etc. However, cleaning the house is much more challenging and taxing than the latter three. After this, I told her that I was dating her, not her son, and that he wasn't my responsibility. She told me that it's a package deal and that he is my responsibility as long as I'm in the house for free. In my opinion, this was completely uncalled for. It feels as though she's using rent as a means to manipulate me. After this interaction, she doesn't seem to be her usual self. Am I the idiot? Holy crap, you are the idiot. You finish up by midday and think you work harder than your girlfriend? Give me a break. Doing laundry and washing a few dishes is nowhere near what she does. And how nasty does a house get that you have to scrub it down every single day for hours? And yes, she is a package deal with her son. She keeps a roof over your head, food in your belly, electric on, cable, Wi-Fi, water to wash. You're super ungrateful, it seems. Honestly, it seems like OP's girlfriend would be an idiot to herself if she stays with OP. Imagine working all day, paying all the bills, cooking, doing the household shopping, etc. Curious what the etc. entails. And your partner won't even pick your kid up from school because they don't want to disrupt their hobbies? And I can't imagine a house with 2 adults and an older teen gets super dirty overnight. This relationship sounds very one-sided in OP's favor. Wow, you sound heartless. 6 years living together, and you don't care for this young person that lives with you full-time? And even if you don't care about your partner enough to help out when she needs you. I hope your partner seriously reconsiders this relationship. You are the red flag. I could barely get through this story. It's so cringe. How on earth can a grown woman behave like such a selfish, spoiled princess? Does she clean at the pace of a snail with a dainty handkerchief for fear of fainting from exhaustion? OP, you are the idiot. Learn some manners and apologize, not only to your girlfriend, but also to her son. Even if he doesn't always like you for whatever reason, treating him like he's a burden you couldn't be bothered with will only cement that. A good, cherished relationship doesn't have to be romantic. This is your girlfriend's child, not her yappy little dog, and he's nearly adult. Treat him with some respect and care before your girlfriend concludes that she and her son are better off without you. My sister-in-law is my younger brother's fiance and soon-to-be wife. Both her and my brother are 26. When she started dating him, I met her when she was 18, and we had a pretty good relationship. Since then, she's been wearing lots of revealing outfits. At first, I wouldn't comment on it, but as my brother's relationship with her got more serious, my parents and I believed we should tell my brother to tell her to dress more appropriately. Whenever we'd bring it up to my brother, he'd get mad and told us to mind our business. Once they got engaged, we believed that she'd finally be more serious and look out for her image as she's supposed to be a wife soon, and later a mother. We were wrong. She didn't only not start dressing more appropriately, but she got worse. Whenever we'd bring it up to my brother, he'd tell us that we can't police what she wears, but he wouldn't understand how it's just disrespectful of her. To be honest, she didn't dress in revealing outfits in family gatherings like Xmas or Thanksgiving, but she'd wear those outfits on her birthday, or my brother's birthday, or whenever they'd hang out alone or with friends. My brother's birthday was last week, and we were invited to his party. Before that, my parents and I agreed that I'd call her out if she dressed inappropriately again, because my brother is spineless and won't ever do that. As always, she was dressed inappropriately. She wore some skin-tight pants and a crop top that looked like a bra. I took her aside and told her that she should start behaving like a serious engaged woman, because that's not a look a woman in a committed relationship should have, since it's disrespectful towards my brother, but also us. She cursed me out and then told my brother, who also cursed me out, and kicked our parents and me out of the party. Friends and relatives partly agreed with me and said that she's dressing inappropriately, but that I also crossed the line and should keep my opinion to myself. On the other hand, my brother's friends apparently all believe I'm the idiot and that it's none of my business how my sister-in-law dresses. Am I the idiot? This is a joke, right? Dressing inappropriately for a woman that's supposed to get married? Do people say this crap these days? As if women morph into nuns and turtlenecks at the altar. Yes, you are the idiot. Mind your own business and stop being so judgmental about something that has absolutely nothing to do with you and impacts you 0%. OMG, you are the idiot. Get over yourself. It's none of your business how your sister-in-law or any woman chooses to dress. You call your brother spineless, but he sure had the guts to tell you where to get off. You owe your sister-in-law a sincere apology, and you should never comment on any woman's clothes ever again, unless you're complimenting her. So, by your own admission, she changes her clothing style to make you comfortable at family functions, but that's not enough for you. You want her to completely change her entire wardrobe around your idea of how committed relationship women should dress. Your poor spouse probably only gets flowers on Valentine's Day and some intimacy on bank holidays too, right? Because you don't actually care about women, just how they look. You are the idiot and stuck in the past. Keep your misogyny to yourself and maybe do some deep reflection on why you care so much about someone else's relationship. So I, 24 male, live in a 3-bed, 3-bath apartment with my mom, 58. My mom moved in with me last year after she quit her job as she couldn't work anymore because of back problems. I let my mom move in with me for free because I feel like it's my responsibility to take care of her as she's getting old. I am pretty financially stable, and my mom's been very helpful with all of the house chores, so I don't mind her living here for free. But the problem is my mom never got along well with my sister, 30. It was mainly because my mom hadn't approved of my sister's boyfriend. Honestly, I can't blame my mom for that because he didn't seem like a good guy, but my sister was blindly in love with him. My sister also dropped out of college to focus on acting, and well, my mom also didn't want that. So my mom had warned my sister that her relationship with her boyfriend wouldn't last and that she should focus on college instead of acting. But my sister didn't listen, and my mom completely cut off my sister from her life. Since then, my mom hasn't talked to my sister, and she gets mad whenever she hears any mention of my sister. So I didn't mention anything about my sister to her and didn't hear from my sister in a while. I only knew that my sister didn't really make it big in acting, and her boyfriend also dumped her. I didn't hear from my sister until yesterday when she called me. She told me that she had lost her job and struggled with rent. She said she was getting evicted and needed a place to stay until she could get back on her feet. She knew there was room in my home, so she asked if she could move in with us until she figured something out. So I mentioned this to my mom, and when she heard about my sister, she wasn't happy. She said none of this would have happened if my sister had listened to her, and that I shouldn't let my sister move in with us because she has to face the consequences of her decisions. My mom told me that I shouldn't put my sister over her. I did feel bad for my sister, but I didn't want to upset my mom or make her feel like I was choosing my sister. So I told my sister my mom wouldn't want her moving in with us, but I did offer her money to help her find a place to stay until she got back on her feet. But she rejected my offer and called my mom a narcissist and said I was enabling my mom's behavior. She said she couldn't believe that I would choose my mom over her. This made me mad when she called my mom a narcissist. I told her if she had listened to mom, she wouldn't have to go through any of this today, and hung up on her. I haven't heard from her after that, but I assured my mom my sister wouldn't move in with us and things between us became normal again. I don't understand why my sister's upset with me. I offered to pay for her to find a new place to stay, but she refused. So, am I the idiot for this? Your mom is a narcissist and has figured out a way to get you to take care of her. She quit her job, wasn't fired, and you didn't mention her applying for Social Security disability, so who knows if her back problems are legit or a manipulation tool. She cut off her daughter for not living her life the way she ordered her to live. As a mother, I cannot imagine doing this, and is entirely willing to make her daughter homeless by forbidding you to give her shelter. Your mother could have planned for the future by saving for retirement or getting private disability insurance or applying for SSD if she's truly disabled. Instead, she wants a handout from you while controlling you and ranting about your sister needing to face the consequences while she faces none. Typical narcissist. You are the idiot if you continue to allow your mother to ruin your life and take advantage of you. Instead, do the right thing and be there for your poor sister, who is suffering right now. It's the homeless part that gets me. What kind of parent would be so petty that they would even consider leaving one of their children homeless to prove a point? It's even worse when it's not even her house that she's keeping them out of. OP, is that the kind of person you want to be? Here's the situation. When my boyfriend, 24, and I, 20 female, first met almost a year ago, I was underweight. I was suffering from low self-image, and although I never got bad enough to the point of developing an eating disorder, I lowered my caloric intake to the point where I was underweight. For reference, I'm 5'2" and at the time was 90 pounds. Within the past few months, I started to gain a better self-image. Because of this, I began gaining weight and now sit at a healthy 119 pounds. The only problem is that my boyfriend likes my body a lot less now. He says that he loves me, but I don't look the same. We've had many long conversations and a few fights over this, and I feel so lost as to what to do. I promised him that I wouldn't gain any more weight, or if I did, I would actively try to lose it. But he still believes that at the moment I'm too fat. I consulted my doctor about the possibility of losing weight, but he strongly advised against it. And I honestly agree with him. I'm eating a balanced diet. I run for an hour and a half every day, and I'm within a perfectly healthy BMI. But I love my boyfriend, and I really don't want to lose him. My boyfriend deserves to be with the woman he's attracted to, but at the same time, I don't want to lose him. He says that I'm being selfish and believes that I don't want to lose the weight because I don't care enough about him to put forth the effort. I'm starting to think I may be unreasonable. He says he would be happy if I went down to 105 pounds and doesn't need me back at 90 pounds. I know if I asked him to tweak his physical appearance, he would do so. For example, early on in our relationship, he shaved his beard because I disliked it. I initially got very angry at his request as well and went so far as to excuse him for not caring about my health. I feel like an idiot. So, everyone, am I the idiot? Not the idiot. How much does your boyfriend weigh? I'd suggest that that's the exact amount of weight you need to lose from your life. By your boyfriend calling you selfish and saying you don't care only shows he's manipulative, uncaring, and downright cruel. He should be celebrating that you're healthy and self-aware. Agree. A good partner would encourage health and wellness, which you seem to have as you share your routine. I'm sorry, but I would suggest rethinking this relationship. Would you recommend a friend of yours to stay with a partner who puts down their body? Good luck, OP.